Okay, so now let's head over to subscriptions, right? It doesn't really flow with our average estimate that we just went through, right, with the liner and whatnot. But it might, right? A plumbing company might say something like, "Hey, we could do just the root removal. We could do the liner and the root removal. Or if you actually sign up to one of our service agreements, then we can do everything. Plus, you get 15% off. It's just going to charge you an extra like 10, 20 bucks a month, and this is everything you're going to get with it, right?" So that's what we're going to set up, all these like different service agreements and subscriptions, so that we can make sure to continuously take care of the customer, the homeowner, the renter, the landlord, the property manager, whoever it is, but also make sure that we're building loyalty with our customer base and keeping everything organized as we go. So to do that, we're going to head over into operations, actually price book, and we're going to come down to subscriptions. Now on subscriptions, I'm going to come over to membership plan, and I don't have any, right? So I'm going to come up and click on new plan here, and I'm just going to call this a service agreement. And if I did have kind of like good, better, best, I could do that. If I have 20 different subscriptions, then you can kind of ignore the tier level. But let's go ahead and mark this as active. And this what's included part, this is really the marketing side for customers. What do they see? It doesn't change anything that's inside of the system, any automations or anything like that. But you want to make sure that when your customers are looking at it, they're in awe, like, holy cow, yeah, I want that, right there. I get so much stuff. I'm so stoked about that. Yes, I want it, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to add a new item here. And when we add a new item, we can say, is it a visit, a service, a product or inventory, a perk, or a discount? And what I'm going to say in this is like, hey, what you're going to get is one visit, and it's going to be a once a year, like, flush. All the plumbers are like, what's a flush? Like, I know, I'm talking about your water heater, right? So we'll come out once a year and do a complete flush of your water heater to extend its life. Okay, so now what I could do is go in and add as many as I want in here, but for the sake of the tutorial, I'm just going to keep it to one, and I'm going to go into next. Now, after that, we get into the pricing. Are we doing monthly reoccurring and say, yep, it's 10 bucks a month? So by the end of the year, it's $120. That's going to cover the cost of that flush. But at the same time, what it's really doing is keeping that customer so that we are their plumbing company, right? So $0 setup fee. And let's say that if someone says, well, I don't want to pay the first month, you guys were just here. Well, you can hit that to a $0, no activation price, and that's going to be that first month payment. Or if you're a pest control company, and normally it's like, yeah, we charge $300 to get rid of that rodent or that pest or whatever it is. But if you sign a year contract, then that first service is only $130 and then $50 a month after that. That's where you put that monthly price at $50 and then that activation price at $130, right? So that first payment's gonna be $130 and then the following month they get hit with their monthly price after that. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so any late fees, fixed or percentage? Any billing triggers, and then what do we accept for this? Card, check, cash, or ACH. We're gonna keep all of that. Now, on commitment and renewal, how long is that commitment? And what happens if they terminate? Do we want a fixed amount of a termination fee, remaining balance, percentage of remaining, or none? So on this one, we'll just say none. And renewal type is auto renew. Or fixed term after 12 months, it's done, or month to month, right? So do they go back into another 12-month agreement, or is it just month to month? Here, we're gonna say month to month. And the renewal term, same as original, same price, or you can increase it by a certain percentage to make sure that, hey, if it's in your contract, we increase this by 3% a year, so that way you're keeping up with inflation automatically. Renewal reminder can go out 30 days, and then if they have to sign an agreement with it, this is where you check that on and select an agreement. But we don't have any yet, so we're going to keep that selected off. Okay. Now, go over into discount rules here. So if they get any discounts with this, right? So we're going to give you a discount on labor. We're going to give you a discount on inventory, specific service, equipment use, whatever that is. And let's say specific service, right? Now, we don't want to do all services, because some services, if we say like 10% off, well, what if it's like a $10,000 service versus like a $100 service? That's the difference between $1,000 and $10, right? A membership plan often doesn't sway that much. So what we're going to have to do instead is select, hey, we're going to give you 10% off on these services here, but not on these other ones, for example. And this is where, if you guys remember at the beginning in the basics, I said these are just for marketing. On the membership discounts, these are what actually will change invoices, okay? So this is where it's important to get it right. Okay, so we've got our specific service, equipment use. We'll keep it that for now. And you can stack it, or you know what, we just want it to be this. We don't want to stack it. And then any perks like priority scheduling. And let's go over to visit fulfillment. Now, if you're going to go out and make sure that, hey, like on pest control, we're going to be there quarterly, this is where you can set up that visit fulfillment, where you can say number of visits is going to be 4, 5, 20, 30, whatever it is, and the cadence is going to be this number here. Whether it's every 30 days, every 60 days, every 180, we're going to go out once annually. In this case, it's going to be 1. Now you can see that that is only 1 visit. But let's say that we had like 21. That'd be crazy if you guys had to adjust all of these for that. So that's why we have this default settings here. You can always override it if you want, but we're just going to keep it simple here and do 1. So what's the title? What's going to show up on your appointment? What's going to show up on the calendar? So on this visit label, we're going to say like a flush, right? Or membership visit and water heater flush. Okay. Now on scheduling, you can say manual schedule. I just want a team member to notify me. I just want the system to notify me, and I'll reach out to the customer and call them. Or I want to auto schedule, throw it on the calendar, whatever's best, and then the system can notify them, and if they have a problem with it, they'll call us. Risky with no-shows on that one. Or you can have it reach out to the customer with an automation, right? That's a little bit more advanced. You'll be able to learn all about that in our automation tutorial or our membership course, okay? So we're going to keep it manual schedule for now. Now, this is where we're going to select what service it is. So I'm just going to select that because we don't really have one set up. And then on lead days, this is how many days in advance do I want to know about, hey, I got this customer coming out 14 days. I should call them to get them on the schedule, right? So that way you don't forget about it because it happened day of type of thing. And you can auto create an estimate with it, auto create a job. With it being manual schedule, I won't do that anyways because you would be actually calling them to do it. Okay. Now you can say unused visits roll over, or once it's expired and if they didn't book an appointment, it's done. Or unused visits are refundable. And then service hold pauses visit scheduling. So what that means is that if they don't pay a bill, then it pauses visiting them again because you don't want to go out to their home because they forgot to pay because you're not doing free work, right? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, finally, the last one. If you enable this on an estimate, when we were creating those packages plans, you can actually bring this in and have it as one of those items and have them auto enroll through the estimate workflow, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to turn that on, and then I'm going to say anybody can sell this, and anybody can give a discount on it, and then anybody can cancel it, right? But if you didn't want certain people to do it, you'd be able to delete those. Now I'm going to go ahead and create a plan. So there it is, $10 monthly. Now I can go ahead and enroll a customer with it. So let's go find our Jessica Johnson. There she is. And now you can select the plan. And there's no agreement, so that's great. No payment method required. And it's because it has no first enrollment charge on there. And there's the details. And because it's auto build, we do need to make sure there's a payment method. So that's where we have to connect a payment method first. Right here, it's warning us, telling us exactly what to do, right? To make sure we get that all connected before we got too far down the rabbit hole. Okay, so those are subscriptions. Now, the last video, the last part of the revenue engine is going to be agreements. So let's go check that out.